Nova here. And we're going to go to another rotation of bans here. Now, what I like about this combo from Nova is it's tried and tested, right? You got a Jax that's scaling to infinity, and that's creates a lot of space as a 1v1 monstrosity in the side lanes. And you got the Wombo combo, and you can't go wrong with this combo, right? But the problem with this combo is execution. What happens if a Camille goes behind? How do you go in again? And it's just going to be the layer of these ults that will be your saving grace. If it doesn't work out, there's not really a lot of fallback, but having the Jax to complement that sort of rounds it out a bit.
Yeah, I mean, provides that assurance for late game, right? And that really works here on the side of Nova Esports. It kind of boggles me though, seeing a set be picked up quite early on the side of Woohoo Gaming, because yes, it is a great matchup against this engaged composition of Nova Esports. However, there's so many more choices that they could have left open on the side of Woohoo Gaming, and they could have picked a different champion first and kind of forced Nova Esports to ban some of those other support champions and still have opportunity to pick up the set. Now, Nova Esports now are going to pick up the Vladimir, which is a great late game scaling champion. It was toned down a little bit this patch 4.4D. However, it is still quite useful.
A little bit worried here for Nova. They have a lot of scaling options, sure, but their early game not looking the best here. Actually, this is an opportunity to pick up something like a Ziggs here to triple down on the combo, but the problem is we haven't seen a Ziggs in quite some time because Ziggs is just very vulnerable in the current meta, especially considering the composition of Woohoo Gaming right now. They got Akali, Renekton,
so much engaged,
Kha'Zix as well. They got so many things you can crash down on that Ziggs, so I don't think realistically a Ziggs is a good option here unless it's just literally for the ulti. Here we go, Woohoo. That Kha'Zix will make a lot of sense. They will be locking it up, so let's see what the final lockup here for Nova is.
Possibly a Varus can still work here, or the Severe. There's so many options here on the side of Nova Esports, except the Ziggs, since there is a rule here on Wild Rift Esports Season 2 that you have to pick at least one ADC.
That's true. Oh, yeah,
interesting
that's true.
approval ratings that we do see as well. 82% more towards the side of Nova Esports, simply because of how great the foundation is already on Nova Esports. But we can never discount Woohoo Gaming. This is a team that has shown great potential, especially in the second half of the regular season. They have won more games on the second half of on the latter weeks of the regular season compared to the first few weeks, and now it's looking to have a great entry here in the playoffs.
So they have to, right? It is the lower bracket, of course, so it is everything on the line for both of these teams. But the good thing is, it is a best of 7, so there's plenty of room to work with for both of these squads as we head off into our first game of this series tonight. Nova Esports versus Woohoo Gaming. Wow. Such a big difference in the... Actually, this is surprising me a little bit. The difference in approval rating is so big in favor of Nova Esports, but it also kind of makes sense.
I also just want to say, sorry to cut you off right there, but I love the coat on the side of Nova Esports. Have you seen that? The fur coat thing? Man, we can never wear something like that here in the Philippines, except if you're from something like Baguio.
I don't even then, I don't know.
I don't even own any.
I mean, neither. I've never seen one in real life, but here we go.
It's gonna be so hot, but not as hot as the game that we are gonna be seeing here.
Yes.
Just the first game of this best of 7. You can expect possible game number 7 here, unless one of these two great teams will cut the series short.
Yes, sirree. Here we go. Blue side, we got Woohoo. Red side, Nova Esports. And this time, long on a Camille. That's going up against Carryman on a Kha'Zix, which is complemented by a long on that team fighting composition that their team has. So it's gonna be something of the standard type of comp that you would typically like to see in these types of competitions, right? You want to go for the team fighting comp, you want to go for the late game, and the challenge with that is you have to get to the late game, which is the one thing that I'm worried of here for Nova Esports. Their early game prowess here is not as strong as they would like, which leaves them susceptible to early fights like this.
Yeah, I'm taking a bit of damage right there. But I just want to point out Nova Esports' great vision tracking on the side of Woohoo Gaming. We saw a ward placed on the Raptors of Kerryman, and then the Remake actually went off his way just to plant another ward onto the Krugs. So now they have full tracking of Kerryman in where and how fast he is going to be clearing up his wave. and that can actually affect the timing here of Woohoo Gaming in the gank potentially in the top side. Long is already on the wolves, so this means that he can actually clear much faster. Fortunately though, Woohoo Gaming does have a ward there as well, so both of them are actually keeping great track of each other.
Yeah, both of them pathing towards the top side of the map as well. So we could see a little bit of action soon, especially considering this is a Renekton top lane from Rocky. But in terms of clear speed, I think Long actually has a little bit of an upper hand here in the Camille, unless Carryman fancies and early rotates towards that gank. And like you said, perfect tracking. Another ward to spot exactly where Carryman is heading there.
Yeah.
Keeps Nova aware that there is a Kha'Zix around the area. So take a look at the instant rotation, instant response from Nova. They pull back that top lane aggression, pulling the tower, the minions towards tower range. And now immediately, there's no chance for a gank to come through from Carryman.
And that allows Nova Esports Dragon Laners or bottom lane to be more aggressive than usual, right? We see the waves crashing onto the tower of Woohoo Gaming. In their mid laner as well, Neon is just sitting comfortably, just farming out. Though there is some sort of pressure coming in from Sunny as well, but not really too serious to force out any summoner spells or any attention from their junglers. Now to go for a reset, actually things are looking very tactical from both sides, but also just playing from textbook style.
Yeah.
Just to sort of get a good read onto each other. Level 5 is what we can see the ganks happening, and Carryman is already on his way towards mid lane. Will not be able to gank just yet.
This is the type of smart type of playstyle that we like to see here when you got a scaling comp, right? Just put as many flanking boards as you can. Keep track of the enemy jungler, especially when it is a Kha'Zix that has a very strong gank potential. And deny those ganks as much as possible. And Nova doing a pretty good job at that at the 3-minute mark. No emerging advantage for anyone yet. A little bit of skirmish on the top side, but no worries. It is a Renekton and a Jax, both very tanky. And the first Drake, it is going to be an Ocean Dragon. So I wouldn't expect it to be of as big as a contestant as a lot of other Drakes that we have. So I would expect a lot more of this sort of gentleman's agreements as we head off into the early mid game.
As the game progresses though, it's gonna put more pressure on the side of Rocky more than Yitze, since the Jax kind of overpowers the Renekton, especially at the 10, 12, 15 minute mark. As the game progresses, the Renekton does fall off a little bit more and more, so becomes like just a plain frontline, an engager for Woohoo Gaming. Now we see the junglers actually going towards the top side, but spots each other out. Yitze taking some damage here from Rocky, but not too serious. It's low in mana, so he might actually need to disengage. Long just parrying through Carryman, and the adaptive defenses is doing the work.
Yeah. Just not enough items going through yet. Do remember, Woohoo Gaming, guys, despite the fact that they have the early game advantage, they still need items to get the big advantage, the power spike they need to shut down the players from Nova. So for now, haven't really necessarily been finding anything yet. Meanwhile, bottom side, gang coming through.
Great timing for Yami. Actually just waiting for the shout to actually expire. Justice Punch going to be used with the taunt as well. But not too much damage actually being thrown out here towards Sunny. Now the bottom laners of Woohoo Gaming are going to be the ones ganking here as well. Great reaction time coming in from Neon and Yami as well. They are just going to be disengaging, giving the Scuttle Crab in the bottom lane away.
A little bit more vision. Long makes his way towards that bottom side. And both teams not really looking for any avenue yet. I mean, Woohoo, that was just a responsory rotation towards that bottom side once the lanes have been swapped here. Yami remake now on the mid side here for Nova. They look establish a bit of more control. The Ocean Drake actually prioritized here by Woohoo. Carryman baiting it up a little bit. They might be looking for a fight here as Yami looks to hold that vision line for themselves. They know that the dragon is not being committed yet, but the Rift Herald, there's not a lot of vision here for Woohoo.
And there's more pressure on the side of Woohoo Gaming this time as well, because we see Yitze actually having a bit of pressure towards Rocky already as they establish vision on the top side river. Woohoo Gaming now is determined to finally start this dragon up, and Nova Esports actually gives it away. Long just goes towards the top side objective and starts to head on. However, since it is started a little bit late, Woohoo Gaming can now actually transition and maybe try to interrupt. Wake Up is already face checking the area. Rocket as well as transitioning. Pops into Dominus already, so top are gonna be used. Here's Entrance as a response. Will there be a steal? The answer is no. Woohoo Gaming is unsuccessful with the engage, and now Rocket's gonna be in a lot of trouble. It's gonna be jumping towards them. Perfect execution. Shuriken flip as well, gonna be invested, but San is already low in HP, so just gonna use the ult to exit out. Nova Esports, they're gonna get a kill, but unsuccessful with it. They just trade for objectives.
Yeah. Yami doing a really good job of holding the line there in that mid brush. You can see he got a double taunt, which is why Woohoo Gaming had to back off a little bit before they could commit. But here comes the spikes from Carry Man, and here comes the gank from Wake Up.
Flash gonna be invested. Facebreaker still on cooldown. He is timing it already perfectly as well to deal the damage. First blood comes through, and Long's just gonna be falling down. He's just gonna be next, and that's 2 kills already for Woohoo Gaming. However, the Severe's overextended, doesn't have any mana. Wake Up as well survives with 1 HP just because of its passive healing as well. And Nova Esports lost too much.
That's Wake Up for you, making the initiation happen here for Woohoo. Getting them a couple of kills as well on top of that beautiful flash play. But let's take a look at that one more time, how that happened. The flash forward into the face breaker, just absolutely wonderful here. Perfectly placing the haymaker too, making sure that Yitse will not be able to survive that encounter. That's Woohoo. Really good setup. Wake Up finds another setup here as well, and survives the encounter. So perfectly played there on that set.
Yeah, it's not yet time for Nova Esports to actually fight, especially that the Severe doesn't have any damage.
True.
Camille can't really do that much damage, and honestly, they were a bit too overextended in the top side. They had no reason to actually push there, especially go too deep there as well. They already used the Rift Herald into the mid lane. They unlocked already a tower there as well. And Woohoo Gaming, since they're the ones who have secured the first dragon, they have now the opportunity to stack up for soul.
Yummy though. Establishing that vision towards that blue side. Woohoo. Gotta be careful of those wards, especially because they caught the Kha'Zix. A little bit of rotation coming through from both sides. And so far, Long hasn't been able to find a lot of impact. We haven't seen a single combo of Hextech into Hero's Entrance. And now Carryman is invading him.
Yeah.
Long needs a little bit of assistance here as 4 people making their way towards the top side.
Great maneuver coming in from Woohoo Gaming. They know that they have the leverage. They know that they can divide and conquer. They are now divided and being conquered as Yitse again will just fall down. And Woohoo Gaming should get this tower.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Early to mid game, Nova Esports can't really hold a candle against Woohoo Gaming, especially when you give a couple of kills like that. Thankfully, they will be able to trade at least a tower for that tower. But the kills have been going all the way of Woohoo now, and they're racking up items. For the good thing about Nova, though, Remake still rocking the top of the gold board here, despite not having any kills. Somehow, Remake still has the most gold in the game. I'm not sure how.
Wow, yeah, that's too aggressive, and it does work. Finally, we see the combination as well there.
There we go. Yeah, Carryman going down early there, and Long. Actually, there's a bit of a gamble there for Long. Had no info of who was there. Just went in and executed as quick as it can. Carryman going down, and now they have instant control of that Baron side. Gets a little bit of camps for himself as well. So really decisive. A bit of a gamble, but it works out really, really well for Long. That's one of the things that I like about Long. He's just very
proactive.
Yeah, very proactive. And once he decides on something, he's just gonna full commit.
As long as he sees an opportunity, he will take it without hesitation. As long as it is the most efficient route as well. But sometimes he does take 50-50s, take big risk as well, and we saw great rewards as well along the way just because of his decisions like that. And now, similar to what happened a while ago, that gank really pushes through, helped them a little bit to recover some of the gold lead that they should have been acquiring over the past few minutes, simply because they're the ones who secured the Rift Herald and unlocked the mid lane tower. And since they have secured a tower as well in the bottom lane, the only lane they have to push right now is top side, and they can go and send out the Jax to push there, since right now is the time for the Jax to be able to win against this Renekton.
He's trying to shove the lane down the bottom side as the Ice Dragon spawns up. Unsuccessfully so, because here comes the party, Woohoo Gaming. All 4 people roaming around the bottom side. Nova Esports called upon. Wake Up is right here, acting like a meat shield. 4,000 HP left on the Dragon. They have to start a fight somewhere.
It's as well. Gonna be spotted with a war. Shuriken gonna be connecting. Will there be a steal? The answer is no. This time Long is the one to secure it. And Nova Esports has gotten what they wanted. Showstopper on the backline. Wake up and actually be in a bad spot right now. Goes in with the Shuriken as well. Hextech ultimate gonna be used as the respawn. And San is gonna be in a bad spot as he gets taken away. 1 for 1 already. Nova Esports wants more. Tactical speed. The hook shot. The damage just gonna be there. The counter strike as well to deal the kill. And Woohoo Gaming has lost 2 in exchange for 1, and they lost the Dragon as well.
Yeah, Yitse becoming the security guard. They're denying the initiation of that Showstopper and dealing so much damage on that set. Paved the way for Nova to win that fight. I mean, sure, they lost their ADC, but Long came up huge with the chase down there. And that's the thing about the composition here of Nova Esports. They don't necessarily need their ADC to deal damage. I mean, take a look at this. Wake Up. By the time he went out of the Showstopper, he's already down to 1 HP. Had to back on out, all because of Yitse. And after that, well, Nova Esports ADC went down. Doesn't matter. They just go in for the chase because everyone from their side is down to 1. And take a look at this flash coming through from Yitse for the final beatdown. Nova just playing that team fight perfectly after taking the Dragon. And things starting to fall into place for the scaling comp.
It was actually quite fortunate for Woohoo Gaming that Yitse kind of messed up the jump into the flash.
True.
That could have been a double kill already with just 1 counter strike.
Yeah.
However, it just connected onto 1 because of that slight miscalculation. But still, it is a slight win on the side of Nova Esports. Now they're making sure they have full control of this game from the leverages that they have been acquiring over the past few minutes. It's just 2.4 thousand, but we see the impact as well just because of the power spikes that Nova Esports is getting right now.
And Sandy's doing a pretty good job of pinpointing Remake here, able to shut down Remake in order to fight Sledge, but here comes Wake Up again.
The stopper into no follow-up actually. It's still gonna be fine. Renekton though going in, just dealing some damage there onto Long. Not yet enough to actually fully dissuade him, and that's already with the Dominus used.
Yeah. Quick reset for both sides. And as I was saying earlier, Wu is actually doing a pretty good job of pinpointing Remake here. But that's the problem. Shutting him down is not enough. You have to get through the Jax, get through Long on that Camille, get through the Vladimir as well. And it sort of makes me wonder if it's past the point where Woohoo hasn't been outscaled yet. Because remember, Nova Esports, they're the ones who can play relaxed, can play for the long game. And Woohoo are the ones who have a sort of deadline, right? Are we past that deadline at the 13-minute mark? I'm not exactly sure because Nova are becoming so proactive. And they already have the 3,000 gold lead. They don't even have 2-3 items yet.
Yeah. It is gonna be a lot of problems here on the side of Woohoo Gaming, especially because of the Baron Lane champion that they have secured. However, because of their composition actually is quite balanced. They have late game scaling on the Akali, late game scaling on the Zeri as well. Great burst damage is gonna be coming through alongside with the consistent DPS of Pan, plus add in the Kha'Zix's isolation damage. I think there are still quite a lot of avenues for them to actually win against Nova Esports. And now they're banking on that as well. Actually quite confident to set some establishment of vision on the top side river. And Nova Esports is just gonna allow them for now.
Yeah. And there is no realistic threat of a Baron here unless one of the players of Nova does go down. Wake Up looking for something.
Oh,
flash backwards. Yeah, I mean, this is actually very risky here for Nova. They don't know where Sunny is.
It is a good placement. Good position so far here from Nova Esports. Rocky not going to be having the ultimate this time around. They are trying to bait them onto the Baron, but Nova Esports is not taking any baits from them.
Yeah, don't want to risk it. And I like the respect they're coming through from Nova. They know that they can take them on a full-on fight, but risking a Baron like that is not something that they can do at this point. So why bother? They're just going to go in, try and establish a little bit of vision, make sure that Woohoo is not taking the Baron. And afterwards, just back off for now. It's a 2,600 gold lead for them anyway, so it's their lead to lose as of the moment. And remember, the longer the game goes on, it only gets better and better and better here for Nova Esports. And besides, they got a Jax to split pushed away. Heck, they even got a Camille to do that. But now, there is another objective spawning up. That is Infernal Dragon, and Nova, of course, wants to secure it for themselves.
They're trying to sneak it away already. Nova Esports hasn't
so
gotten
quick.
any vision just
oh,
yet.
No,
Long's in the vicinity. Gonna be trying to get really successful with it as well. Says thank you for the leash along the way.
That's Long for you.
Showstopper.
Now they're gonna fight.
Facebreaker gonna be denied. Dominus gonna be used already. Hextech Ultimatum gonna be pinning down. Rocky gonna be flashing in with the spread and takes it away as well. Neon as well gonna be blown up. And this might be the chance of Woohoo Game to actually strike against Nova Esports. Yami gonna be trapped, forced to use the stasis, but it's just gonna be taken down as well by Woohoo Gaming. They're mad because they lost their dragon.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward fight there for Nova Esports, and Woohoo immediately punishes them for a long, nice little steal on the dragon, but because their teammates have gone down, it's the Baron getting started by Woohoo. There's just 2 players with Nova left.
Long is still alive. Wake Up gonna be checking. They're gonna be to Nova Esports. No chance to steal this time around because you're gonna get wiped away. Long is looking though to get the kill onto the Kali. He is successful with it. Now it's a big responsibility for Rocky to actually pin him down. He has to stun, he has to root the Predator, but is it gonna be enough? They have full vision onto the Baron. Will he actually get the steal? The answer is no this time around. Rocky makes it through, will get the kill as well. But Long still made it work, gave some pressure as well, and actually was successful in getting 2 kills.
That's still so close with only Long remaining, and that's a problem that you uniquely face when you're playing against Nova Esports. Their jungler is definitely world class here. That's steal. All it takes is just literally 1 flick of the smite. And now take a look at this fight again. Rocky got pinned early by Long, but the duo gets really stalled out by the stasis here. That Rocky flashes forward Long a little bit too false of a little bit of some false sense of security there. Leaves one of his teammates to die there. And that started the downfall of the team fight there for Nova Esports, which led to this Baron take by Woohoo that they had no business securing there. And a little bit of breathing room here for Woohoo that Nova has to fend off for now, this Baron buff.
Great punishment as well by Rocky, seeing that the remake went too far forward, close to him as well, used the flash and immediately stunned him up, and was followed up by the rest of Woohoo Gaming. That actually allowed them to get this Baron. Even if they lost 2 members, it's still great because it gave them so much gold through the ace that they have acquired, plus the Baron gold as well. That's why we see the gold actually transition back to Woohoo Gaming right now from 2,000 gold lead of Nova Esports. Now we see a relatively same gold amount lead of Woohoo Gaming.
But Nova's still doing a pretty good job of actually keeping that Baron buff at bay. I mean, remember, Nova had a little bit of a gold lead earlier. Now, it's still shrinking. The side of Woohoo, even though they have it. Now Elder Dragon has spawned up though, and this is something that neither team has to or wants to let up, because it is a game-ending dragon after all. And here comes Long for the initiate.
Immediately gonna be denied. Showstopper as well gonna be used. Here's Entrance as a response. Punch actually not gonna be connecting onto Nova Esports, but they're gonna be getting the jabs already. Rocky going in, the perfect execution gonna be connecting. Sunny actually making things work. Neon tries to go with the damage, but unfortunately it's not enough, and it's only Yami alive.
Rocky's just so consistent at turning fights around that stasis is just a big headache here for Nova Esports. And the Croc is just a problem here for them, because by the time Rocky turns the fight around here, comes back in from the stasis, he's dealt enough damage for Woohoo to capitalize off. And now Yami's the only one left standing here trying to fend off 3 players from Woohoo. And it could be the game here.
It can be, unless Yami can actually do something about this. So far, he is stalling, but stalling is not going to be enough to stop Woohoo Gaming. They take game number 1 of this best of 7 series.
What a performance here for Woohoo. It looked touch and go for a second there, but they knew, they said, and they